All good? Ready to go? Turn my voice up a little bit. Oh, God, for everyone watching, the whole family.
Are you ready to go? I built a beer in the house that I built, in the booth that I built.
I know people tune in every Sunday to listen, but even when business is good, we still manage to do the podcast.
See, Josh carries on.
It's culty. If you use that beat, mate, I want something out of it.
What do you think of the telly? What do you think of the telly?
I put it up, mate. I think a lot.
Looks great, doesn't it? What do you think of the plant?
Yeah, it's sound.
I bought
it. No, you didn't. Don't lie, lad. It's me who rigs this room out, mate. It's me who delegates and sorts.
Oh, they've all seen.
Culty. Josh, who sorts the room out, lad? Me. Shitty ass.
They're all pointing at me.
No, they're all pointing at themselves, mate. I'll take my credit.
Feels like it's getting better each week, isn't it? It is getting better. We've got the telly.
Slowly but surely.
I'm very happy with that telly. So the story about the telly is I really wanted a neon sign. So if you listen to the podcast and you watch every week, then you can see the brick wall with like the NPK Live neon in the background. And I wanted that in a big neon sign. Guess how much that was going to cost?
£900.
Exactly, because I fucking talked to you about it. So that was just a ridiculous amount to spend on a fucking sign. So we went to another place, Steel. He's going to cut out the NPK Live. He's going to put plastic, coloured plastic. He's going to light it up. It's going to look boss. Guess how much that cost?
How much?
£870. He's up to £70. So that was also a ridiculous amount to spend on a sign. And then we were going to have to get all the partners spread out around it as well.
Shit off my shit, man. He's fucking my shit up here.
I know. Next week these will be gone. Don't
these
stress.
need to be gone, mate. I'm sick of them.
Bit by bit, slowly but surely. You see, no one's really ever had to see what we're up to now. But isn't this just a lovely place to be in? The sun's shining through, just hitting the plant, lovely greenery. The telly's on the wall. I'm very aroused.
You can thank me after. Look at that there. Who's that good looking lad there?
He's about to get battered by another good looking lad.
That kid looks a lot bigger than that kid.
We're fucking who's Samson, fucking I'll eat you with a stone. One of them. So we decided, didn't we? I had a brainwave yesterday. Stop looking at yourself in the laptop.
Not what it is. It's because that's
30-second delay.
It's 30-second delay. So I'm like, fix up and look sharp here, mate. You know what I mean?
So brainwave. I thought to myself,
what?
Brainwave. It was my brainwave to get the telly. It was. It was absolutely my idea. Lad, I rang you.
No, you never.
I rang you.
No.
Lad, you're about to start
you
lying.
You rang me and said about the what's the name, and I said to you, it's a little bit on the dear side, that let's jib that idea. I said, why don't we get a telly and we can put all the sponsors.
You're such a fucking liar. You put it up, you bought the plant, but it was not your idea. Look into the camera and tell them that it was your idea.
Listen, they know I'm Barry Builds.
Yeah, you're not Barry Ideas, are you?
No, it was my idea.
Listen, you haven't been to Spa in ages. You only have good ideas when you go to Spa. My idea. And look, we've got it all up there now.
All this hard work, mate, you're paying for the next Spa.
We don't go to Spas together just before that rumour gets out
you're
there.
Paying for me and my missus to go to the next Spa.
Sounds to get you out my ear for a few days. So, who are we welcoming? Thank you for everyone we are running a little bit late because
Stephen doesn't stick to timekeeping. That's the problem. I've got Josh to back me up on it. We should be here at the same time, same place every week, and Stephen doesn't keep up.
I was getting you a drink. A customer came in and full on collared me. I was like, Stephen. So 10 minutes was with
Shouldn't
him.
have just been there, should he?
I was getting you a drink.
No, you weren't.
What's that?
Don't know.
Knockout. But they're not part of the podcast, so they're not getting any more mentions. I got collared and customers do come first. You don't remember the
What's
good old
the
days.
podcast about?
So, okay,
Am I doing a giveaway this week?
No, you decided to do a giveaway and I had to do all the leg work.
Leg work.
Nah,
I have to give you something to do.
Who's joined us anyway live? So Orlando Mattis, Mr. Steele, yes, bro. Good to see the telly, he said. Indic Head Shop is always with us every week. Thank you very much, bro. How much cable did you get? He asked.
For which?
The whole scene with the electrical wholesalers.
3, 4, 5. The fella had me up the wall.
No, you had the fella up the wall.
I didn't. I told him, listen, mate, this square that I want to put LEDs in is 1.5 by 1.2. And he's asking me how much. So I said to him, it's 1.5 by 2 meters square. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's 1.5 times 2 and 1.2 times 2.
Okay.
And he couldn't get his fucking head around it.
Right.
He kept saying to me, I'm Italian. I was like, what, lad? What's that got to do with
Rocky
the fucking
Balboa's
price of
Italian. He
fish,
still managed to knock people out.
fucking
So,
hell.
Josh, that's the real reason why we're late, mate, because I only went in there for your extension cables and I bought myself a new bulb for the
That's you
bathroom.
taking me to an electrical shop.
Yeah, never again.
It's like taking me to B&Q, you just wouldn't do it. Unless you just want to get out of there quick, you don't take me.
A lot.
Like a
He also
sweet
said
shop.
this in the head shop said the set's looking better.
Thanks, mate. It's all down to me.
John Hayes, welcome, peace. So welcome everyone that's watching live. Good to have you with us. I've also invested in a GoPro Hero 7. So we will be live on Facebook in the coming weeks, straight to Facebook rather than streaming all that shit. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook. I'm going to set up my gorilla stand to be live on Instagram so everyone can watch on their preferred platforms.
GoPro Hero 7, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're going to get some sick shots. You know, you best get that rally car out and doing some bits, as our Basil. Podcast 171 with me, Steve.
And myself, Barry.
And Bob.
Said it there, didn't
You
I?
did, you did. I'm proud of you.
Ticket. Ticket.
Bob.
Who's Bob?
Me, you and Bob. We're with Bob today.
Who's Bob?
I
Best
forget-
of British.
Best of British. It is 171, Best of British, B-O-B. So last week's podcast was all about Brexit and Spanimus. And we spoke about Spanimus and then we moved on to Brexit. And it was a bit of a deep conversation. Josh, everyone was impressed with your knowledge bombs.
Oh, mate, Josh is full of it.
Yeah. What, knowledge bombs or something else?
Nah, knowledge. Full of all that sort of stuff, aren't you, lad?
Yeah. We're going to get him on more regularly, Josh.
Yeah.
He's going to have
It's going to be
guest
like,
star
do you
appearances.
remember that? No one really sees Josh. Do you remember the fella? Remember the programme? And the fella used to stick his head above the fence and you could only ever see his eyes. What was it called,
You know
Josh? I know, look, he's laughing.
Home Improvement.
See, it's full of knowledge.
So
Home
even when you were a
Improvement,
child,
that's what we
you were
want
watching
with
Home
Josh. When we
Improvement shit.
turn to Josh, we just want to see that look.
Just his nose and his eyes.
Where you
above
can't
the
see
laptop.
nothing moving, you just see that. That's what we want out of Josh.
So even when you were a child, you were just watching Home Improvement shit.
Yeah, man.
It's a good show that actually,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
was, lad.
So it's 171, Best of British. Last week was all about Brexit and potentially what can happen, even though no one's got a fucking clue what's going to happen. It's a bit of a recurring theme on this podcast, isn't it? Me and you not having a clue what we're going on about and talking about.
Speaking for yourself. I know what I'm doing, mate. I was here 15 minutes prior to going live.
Oh no, he's got you well whipped, hasn't he?
I mean,
I know he does.
organisation.
Fucking tell me off
Timekeeping.
every week. Tell me off. I'm going to be here. I'm just going to dedicate Wednesdays. I'm going to come in at 9 o'clock and sit here. Ready. So, Barry, Best of British, today's podcast. And I want people watching live, I want all your comments, I want your feedback. What are your favourite British products? Why? So, Barry, why should we buy British? Irrelevant of hydroponics, is there anything that you think, is there any British products that you support?
Like, imagine what? As
Like
in,
in anything? Like, do we support British products enough?
do we make enough British products?
That's a very good question.
It might be thought of and created in Britain, but do we manufacture it in Britain?
No, we don't. Well,
Don't, mate.
Jaguar Land Rover.
Yeah, Jaguar Land Rover. yeah.
Jaguar Land Rover.
How many
British
Jaguars
made.
to see on the road nowadays, though? You don't see
Not many.
Well,
Not many.
BMs and Audis. And
Yeah, unless you're
there you
70
go,
years
mate.
old.
Few Fords and that.
Land
Ford
Rovers, though.
Is Ford manufactured here still?
Yeah, I think the manufactured here, but it's an American car, isn't it?
Is it?
Ford's American. Henry Ford. He invented the car, I think. Yeah.
Why are we looking
Yeah.
at Josh?
Yeah, because he's like knowledge bomb now.
The knowledge bomb.
Knowledge bomb Josh. And he's got his microphone ready.
Hey,
So-
Josh, is Ford manufactured here still?
So he's going to do the research if he can. Oh no, Josh is doing the cameras, isn't he? We need another person to do research. Coatsy, while you're sitting there doing nothing, mate, you can research on Google. Google, where is Ford manufactured? Oh, he's in control of audio.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So find
mate,
out
if it was
people watching.
manufactured, designed, made, built, fucking born, bred in Britain.
Do we
yeah,
support British
it.
products enough?
Don't know. Is there enough, like I've just said, is there enough British products out there? Talking about everything now. We toasters, kettles, microwaves. Fucking
It's cheaper.
carpets,
We all know it's
paint.
cheaper to buy from China.
Yeah.
That's where most things are bought from, manufactured.
But is that a good thing?
Well, here's the thing.
If it was designed and created in Britain, manufactured in China, then we got it.
And distributed it.
No. Irrelevant from distribution and all that, what we do. Just to go and buy general stuff like what you buy, fucking tellies and computers and microphones and fucking whatnot. Is it, if it was manufactured in Britain, do you think, let's say this microphone was £100 and it was a good microphone, and it was designed, patented, everything in Britain, but then it was sent to China to be made and come back and it was £100. Do you think if it weren't sent to China and it was made here, it'd be a lot cheaper?
It'll be more expensive.
There you go. So is it benefiting us or?
Good points.
Very good points.
Here's one for you. So we're going to get on to the first thing is tents. We're going to ask some questions, but I'm going to bring tents into it first because best of British. So what is the best British grow tent?
BudBox.
BudBox. Where are they made?
Britain.
No, they're designed and the design.
See, that's what I mean. Things can be created in Britain.
Yeah.
Patented, thought of, invented. But the manufacturing side of the thing is like shit.
Yeah. Well, it's not shit, it's just very expensive.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So when you say they're best of British,
so that's
are we taking into account that it's made in China and sent here, but it was made by a Brit?
We're going to have to define it, aren't we? So best of British, what I have made sort of to try and draw a line under it, it can be made in China, but if it was designed and the design was sent to China and they manufactured it and then sent it back over here to be distributed, then that's a British product in my eyes. It's sketchy territory.
No, what you're saying is right, it's a British product, but the actual full cake hasn't been made, designed, patented, built, and everything, and in Britain, has it? So the full monies hasn't stayed in Britain. So we've actually now outsourced some work because it's cheaper. So really and truly, we get it cheaper at the end. Where if it was manufactured in Britain, we wouldn't get it as cheap.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to pay our minimum wages to manufacture it. But
I don't think there's any grow tent that is manufactured in a country outside of China. I think they've got the warehouses.
They've got the
staff.
Haven't they?
Yeah, they've got it all zipped up. Light-proof.
Light-proof.
So where do we draw the line? Because, give you another example, Cannatronics. John at Cannatronics, been in the industry a long time.
That's all manufactured here.
That's probably one of the best British products that I can think of because it was designed by a British man, engineered by a British man, assembled in Britain by John and his team, and distributed in the UK. But does he buy all of his components that are in it from Britain? Does he? Yeah. What about the screws and the metal casings? You can't get that from Britain.
It's all manufactured, isn't it? You're saying metal casings. You didn't buy a metal casing and they're all fabricated.
Yeah, so where's the fabrication come from?
It's going to be in Britain, isn't it?
That is good.
John doesn't believe in like fucking
bringing out
with this Chinese shit. That's what he'll say. It's Chinese shit. That's Chinese shit. That.
So here's the difference, though.
You work it out. You couldn't get sheet metal manufactured in China. Imagine the price of it to
ship it
for them to start shipping metal over to you and all that. And it's easier to just go to a fabricating place and get it
all sorted.
Get it done that way.
So here's one for you then. There's a difference in China. So tents, BudBox, premium, best. It's the best British tent. It is the best tent in my opinion overall. And I know that the process that the owner Jonathan goes through with his manufacturer. So the whole warehouse is dedicated to his tents.
Yeah, so he's got his own chat. Like,
Yeah.
his
And
own
he's there
warehouse.
all the time
Yeah.
checking on it. He's got staff there that, did you know that when they make a BudBox tent, they assemble it?
And the person signs it.
Yeah. And then puts it all back down and make sure that everything's perfect.
So,
innit?
isn't it when you're up where it says BudBox on the flap, if you roll that under, it has the tag, and I'm sure it's got like initials on it or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Could have a number, like a code that relates back to, you could be code 8801, and that's you. So if there's a
there's
problem
any
with that
defects, it
tent, it
knows
goes straight
exactly.
back to that person.
So there's very, very good China manufacturing. But on the other side of the things, all the cheapest, horriblest tents also come from China. So you've got to be careful. You've got to understand where they come from and the manufacturing process. So before we get into the best of British and the products, why buy British? The reason that we're doing this podcast is because if Brexit does go wrong and we end up coming out of Europe in a way that leaves us with no trade agreements, then prices for a lot of products are going to potentially shoot up. We don't know. They might just stay at a level where the wholesale and manufacturer consumes that and doesn't let the shop see it, so the prices stay the same. Or it could just not have much of an impact and prices stay the same anyway. But if prices do go through the roof, then are people going to buy more British? There's been, on social media, people have been wanting to do like a best of British itinerary on what is British and get into the nitty gritty of it. Would you, once we leave Europe, would you buy British if the prices were cheaper?
Of course it would, yeah.
So CANNA is a Dutch nutrient, so the prices could go up. Do you think that could push other people towards other nutrients, or do you think people will swallow the extra £1, £2, even if it's a £5? Do you think people would swallow the £5?
Do you know what?
If CANNA
If
A
it
and
was a
B
£5,
went from £35 to £40 for their A and B 5 litre, and something like Plant Magic or Hydrotops or Buddha's Tree, and we're going to name a few as we come into the nutrient side of things.
I think if it's a £5, wouldn't you say it wouldn't bother you personally, but if you were going through it, mate,
Yeah. Would it make you change? Or would you stick to what you know? Are people
will
going to
stick
swallow it?
No, people are going to swallow it.
Going to be
aren't
interested
they?
if we come out and there's no trade agreements and prices go up, and how much is CANNA going to swallow? How much are the wholesalers going to swallow? How much are the shops going to take on board?
But do you think they'll do that?
I think,
Is that an agreement? Is that like set in stone that CANNA might just turn around and go, nah?
no, it's good business practice though, isn't it? If the price was,
Yeah, it is.
if the cost went up a £5 and grossly went up a £5, then CANNA might say, listen, we're going to take £2 of this on our chest. Highlight Horticulture, can you take £1? Shops, can you take £1? And then, or shops may take £2, and then the end consumer's still paying £35, isn't he? Because CANNA's took a £2, Highlight took £2, and the shop swallowed £1, so that the £5 has been taken out of all of our profits, and we can still give it to the end consumer for $35. Do you know what I mean? So
I know what you mean, but
you don't have to, but
here's one for you though: is CANNA's in the Netherlands, innit?
Yeah.
So, is their minimum wages and stuff like that roughly the same
I
as
think
ours?
so. Yeah.
Or the normal wages?
Yeah.
Is it? So, CANNA, like, it's a big company, kind of multi-million-pound company, isn't it? So, you know, to like, why couldn't they open them manufacturers in Britain?
Well, I don't know how hard or easy that would have been when we were in the European Union. It might become, I have no idea, it could become harder now that we're out. It just, the manufacturing facility, the place that creates the kind of nutrients, I've never seen it, but I imagine it's vast. I mean, just for the kind of boost, the process that kind of boost goes through to become the product that we know, it's immense. It's heated, treated, it's the extraction of the seaweed. The whole process would take up a lot of machinery. So to move that from the Netherlands to the UK, would it make sense? Because the UK is a big market, but then it would increase the price going back to Holland and shipping to Germany and Spain.
It's just a thought.
It's interesting. You might have to get some of these companies on the podcast or get them on
It'll
the
be
phone
nice
and
to
talk
see how
to them.
CANNA come out and like you say, is to distribute that price, because
I haven't said
to be
that.
honest,
they see that £2 increase. See where
I
we're
think
saying we'll take
think-
a pound on our chest.
Nah, I don't think we should though. That's my honest opinion. To be honest, we've got the hardest job. The wholesaler hasn't. All he does is take the orders for it. CANNA hasn't, because everyone wants it and they're just selling it to the wholesalers. It's us who's pushing it at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? I think every shop will agree, yeah, it's all right, it's £1. Why are we losing it?
Yeah.
You should lose it.
But
You know what I mean?
Here you go. If you sell,
I know what you're going to say.
In
If
a
I sell 10 sets,
you've lost a tenner.
I've lost a
in a day.
tenner. That's not the point,
But
though,
if
is it?
CANNA
That's
swallows
£10 a day.
£2,
How much is that a year?
£3,650.
There you go, lad. Why should I swallow it when CANNA's a multi-million-pound company and the wholesalers are multi-million-pound companies? And if they want to keep it going, they should keep it going. It shouldn't be us, because we've got the hardest fight in the world of when the person comes into the shop, of taking them away from that nutrient and giving that nutrient, and taking them from, and convincing people that that's a good nutrient. Take it.
If it's right for them.
If it's right for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's right for them.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, I don't wholesale products. I sell products.
Yeah.
So if you want your product pushing, why am I losing money? You know what I mean? So I think it should be tough on the chin.
Is, the shops as a whole, 450 of them or whatever there is in the UK, if they all just swallowed a pound, then it'd make the life of CANNA better. Because if they had to swallow, let's say £2, that they're producing every single bit of CANNA that goes to every shop. So we're only losing 3,650 in the year. CANNA's going to be losing 3 million in the year.
You're missing the point, though. CANNA's the one who makes the product. CANNA's the one who distributes the product. CANNA should be aware of, and all the other, not just CANNA, every other product, they should be aware of these changes in the world. We don't. I still to British people who come into the shop, don't I?
Yeah.
So why should I take it on the chin? You knew what you got yourself into when you were selling overseas. That things can change overnight. So why should I take it on the chin now?
Because
you
may have been part of the 51% that voted to leave Brexit.
Nah, that's irrelevant, mate. That's irrelevant.
I'm being devil's advocate.
But that's irrelevant, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You knew what you got yourself into. And that's not aiming at a CANNA, you know. I'm just saying every
Dutch Pro,
everyone who's...
Plagron.
It doesn't matter what you do, fucking tellies, cars, anything. You make them overseas. You know that if there's ever a problem, prices are going to go up. Well, that's your fucking problem. It shouldn't be. That's yours and the wholesalers' problem. The wholesalers should be aware of that they're buying from overseas. They're selling from overseas and manufacturing from overseas, and they're buying and selling to us. So them two people should be aware of what's going on. That shouldn't affect us as a shop. They should be taking that rah on the end of the chin.
I think you've made a great argument, and we're going to snip at that.
Nah,
and if the prices go up...
Josh, are you listening? You wait, what have I just said? What have I just said? What have I just said? But you agree with that? That if I've got to get Josh involved because he's like a knowledgeable kid and he'll put me right if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But when CANNA got in, and we're not just talking about CANNA, we're just using them as an example, they got into making large quantities of nutrients and distributing to other countries, so they know that the world can change at any minute. So they should have took that on board, that things like this can happen. The wholesaler who buys from a border and buys in through container loads, he should be aware of what can happen. But should we be aware of what? No. Yeah, but should, even if it was only £1 on a 5 litre A&B, we shouldn't really take it on the chin, or should we?
Everyone should take it equally.
Nah, I don't think that's right. I honestly don't believe that, because I didn't get into...
Speaking to the microphone.
I didn't get...
It's market prices, though, isn't it?
I know what you're saying, it's market prices, but these people who distribute and buy us overseas and stuff like that, is BudBox going to go up now?
Potentially, yeah. But because that's a trade agreement with China, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's...
So we've got to negotiate.
I'm going to say it as it is.
Yeah.
I think that's like BudBox's problem.
Yeah.
That's not our problem.
Yeah.
That's your problem, mate.
For manufacturing in
I
China.
haven't got shares in BudBox, mate. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Like, go on, you sort that out.
And every other temp
And
manufacturer.
everyone.
Yeah,
I think that they should take it on the chin, and the wholesalers that they sell it to, because you're only selling that to a wholesaler. You don't sell it to the public. So between the wholesaler and the manufacturer, you just need to sort it out yourselves, mate.
You've got your shareholders as well.
Yeah.
The company, so as an example, Apple, before Brexit happened, we had our standard price. We had quite a good price on Apple, but they took it on the chin for about a year that the price of the pound wasn't as good as it was, and then they decided to put their prices up to what everyone else in the world was paying. Like, they were giving Britain a preferential treatment, but they couldn't sustain it because their shareholders were like, but why? Do you know what I mean? Their shareholders should be making their profit. It's the market.
But I should be making my profit.
Yeah. So
It's exactly the same.
Then you have to put your pure prices. Everybody's going to have to take that knock on the chin right the way down the supply chain to the end user.
I can't wait till we actually do. Maybe we might not even leave Brexit. We might not even leave Brexit, leave Europe. But I think if we do, we're going to have them all. We're going to have We're going to have a wholesaler. We're going to have a nutrient manufacturer. We're going to have a temp manufacturer.
What, all in Britain?
No, we're going to have them on the podcast. I'm going to say we're going to have it out. Who should take the brunt of it?
You know what I mean, though, don't you? And I'm not being like...
I'm on your side because we're the shop.
No, it's not.
But I'm going to be devil's advocate.
Lad, the shop wouldn't fucking fold tomorrow if it lost a tenner selling 5 10-litre A&Bs. It wouldn't fold. But the end user now, he's paying more. And I just don't think it's right. I think you've got into them. You've got into that industry.
So if there's market fluctuations, you just take it?
Yeah, because that's the industry you're in.
Yeah.
You're in that industry, I'm not. If I was in that industry, I wouldn't be buying tents off BudBox.
I'd
be getting them made myself.
I'll tell you what.
And when it goes up, I'd take her on the chin.
Yeah. I'll tell you what wouldn't happen if we...
You know, China. Imagine if we got a better agreement and all the prices fell. Prices wouldn't drop. It'd stay the
that's
same.
just one of their benefits.
So that's one of their benefits. Yeah, exactly. If it goes up, the prices are fan, take her on the chin, mate.
The prices are going to drop. But here's what wouldn't happen. Market fluctuations. So the trade agreement for the next 2 years with China goes up, extra 3%. But then Britain negotiates. We managed to maybe get it down to what it originally was. Do the 10 prices then all come down? Or do then they take it, that extra? Do you know what I mean?
Say it again. You lost me.
So if there's an extra 3% that we had to pay for the next 2 years while we sorted out a trade agreement with China, and then we go, okay, we've sorted that out now, it's back down to 2%, what you originally had as Europe. They're not going to then drop the prices, are they? So they're going to see an extra...
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. It would be... I'm looking forward to people, to the industry, listening to this on Sunday so that they can form some opinions and maybe...
I think the whole...
Do message in and
tell
us what you're thinking.
Should take it on the chin, mate. It shouldn't be us.
Okay. Why buy British? We're still on that sort of that question. British products have got that. They've got the British flag. It seems like a good quality product, doesn't it? So buying British is meaning, in my thoughts, that you're not. If you do buy British now, you're not going to suffer these potential price increases. I know it's like £1 here and maybe £2 there, but when you get to them £500 products, it could go to £550. And it all adds up. So the next question is, what would we like to see Britain start producing? You hit the nail on the head. I don't think we're producing enough because let's go back to this question. What would we like to see Britain start producing? Let's talk about what we actually are producing. Tents is the BudBox premium white line tent. Best British tent you can get. In my opinion, the best tent you can get.
Yeah.
It's a British tent, but it's manufactured in China. And there's some argument, there's some debate there over, is it a truly British product? I say it is.
I'd say it was as well.
But it's going to have that fluctuation.
If it was made here, no one could probably afford it. Let's have it right.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's already,
so you'd have a boss product that you just can't get because it's just far too expensive. So I don't blame them for going there and getting it done. It is what it is.
In the same breath, we stock in our shop 2 varieties of tents. Gorilla Grow tents from Highlight Horticulture. That's their branded tent. Is that a British tent?
No, it won't be.
But it's from China, like all tents are, but it's Highlight tent. So they designed it, they set the specifications, they sent it off to China, they had it made, and they got it brought back. So is that a British tent?
If I design a fucking calculator today and then get China to manufacture it and send it back as British.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, well, that's what BudBox are doing. But BudBox are a bit more in the process. They've got people in the facility doing checks. I don't know if he owns the facility, but I think it's pretty much dedicated to his tents. Okay. Did you know that, like, they wear footwear?
I know everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal what goes on in the
Got a good
BudBox, man.
setup and all.
Very good. While we're on, so we're going to move on to lights and LEDs and what products are manufactured and what are British. Here's an interesting one, and it started a bit of a debate about 3 years ago when a white paper was released that said that Gavita's made in Holland, but when you open them up, it says it's got a sticker and it said assembled in Holland. So all the parts were from China. They sent all the parts to Holland and they were assembled in Holland. So they weren't made in Holland, they were assembled. And a few people got their goat up a little bit because they're like, you're saying it's made in Holland, but really you've just got all the components, the bulbs, the casings, the screws, everything, the drivers.
It's manufactured there, but it's made in Holland. So it's assembled in Holland.
Assembled in Holland.
Yeah.
But they've got everything from China, all the components. So it was made in China, but it's like semantics, isn't it? Choice of words. Made in China, assembled in Holland. So is that a Dutch product or is it still a Chinese product? I think they did, to be fair, I think that's not too bad. Because they could have had them assembled in China, couldn't they, as well? At least when the fact that they were, at the time that they were Gavita, and it was Gavita, and it was just that single company. I think being assembled in their factory in Holland is really good.
But then again, if it was assembled in China, does that make it a bad thing?
No, if you've got somebody being able to overwatch everything, making sure that the screws are tightened to the right amount, making sure that the amount of turns on the copper coils done the right amount of tightness and space and the amount of turns around the iron core, if they produce a magnetic ballast.
I caught it off guard then.
Yeah.
Well, it is though, isn't it?
But if someone's checking it, no. But the fact that they're assembled in Holland by, I don't know, I'm going to assume Dutch people with a certain level of, this is our company and let's assemble them to the best of our ability. Trained. It probably sneaks into China. And I know that this happens actually. If you send a cup off to China, and I'm the office dog's body on this one, you send that cup off to China and say, like 10,000 of them to that specification, black, and I want the handle soldered on with good, whatever they use to solder ceramic. And it comes back and the first 10,000 are great, and you go, brilliant, I made up with them. There's another 10,000. Then the next one comes and the black's not quite black. And it's not enough to make you go, oh, they're shit. But it's just that they've saved themselves 2 pence a cup or something. And then the third time you get it, the ceramic solder's not quite there and the handle will start breaking.
Is there such thing as a ceramic solder?
I've just made it up. I'm hoping you'll correct me.
I haven't got a fucking clue, to be honest with you.
But that's what happens in China. If you don't stay on top of it, then they slowly start degrading to try and get
to claw
back a bit of money. So you've got to be there to make sure that they're not doing that. So I've said, what would you like to see Britain start producing? So there's all that semantics, isn't there?
Everything.
As long as the price is right. So here we go. Lights and LEDs, Cropmaster, BudMaster, Cropmaster, same company, but slightly different products. He brings in a lot of stuff, but it's assembled in the UK, designed in the UK, and he brings in certain components to make the lights affordable from around the world. So I'd count that as a British product. What do you think?
Do you count Gavita as a British product, as a Dutch product? It's just the same, mate, what you've just said.
I know, but
buying all the bits in.
I think every part of the Gavita was brought in from China, whereas I think Cropmaster brings it in from Germany. I think they might get the drivers from Germany, or they might get the drivers from the UK. I don't know enough about the in-depth products, but I know that they're assembled in the UK. I think a lot of the components are brought in either from the UK itself or from Germany, from Europe.
I think what you're getting at is it's nice if some of the stuff comes from Britain that's inside them, because then it's supporting Britain and it's paying us.
Yeah.
You're buying from Britain and the money's sort of staying in Britain, if that makes sense.
I think we're going to have to do a lot more of it.
You know what I mean?
Maxi Bright lights. So I think we've got to the point where we can agree a lot of these products are bringing in components from other countries. So is there truly
99% of people manufacturing and bringing it in from China?
So far, it's only the contactor that John does, Cannatronics, where he tries his best to source absolutely everything from the UK that I've found so far. It's a truly British product. You've got your Maxilights from Maxilight Wholesale. They do the 315 ceramic metal halides. They've got Venture Lighting, which is a British company. You've got Nutriculture's lights. They're their own lights. You've got their T5s. You've got their CFLs.
They made, yeah.
Yeah, well, again, probably China. But they've got their blueprint. They've said, we want this, want it to this standard.
But I think everyone's got a blueprint when they go to China and get stuff made.
But there's certain blueprints where they just say, like, I know a lot of
Know what
companies
that
send
is.
them to China and just say, I want that type of light. Like, I want it as cheap as possible. Get it back here. I couldn't count that as a British product. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Because it's...
You still can, because you can't say, I got it from that factory and that factory's amazing, but that factory's a bit shitter and that factory is shite.
Yeah.
If it comes from all them, it's all the same, really, isn't it? That
No.
the quality's... No. So what you're saying now, then, is if the quality's not there, can't really call it British.
Yeah, because,
No,
like...
well, that's down to...
Because the
that's-
design is just
it's
not bothered.
That's just down to greed and that, isn't it, with money?
Mm.
That's all that's down to. Go there, get the shittiest product, bring it back and charge a fortune for it. That's just greed.
And
Doesn't mean to say it's any more British than anything else, does it?
I know, but I like to think
I
of
love catching you off.
British...
guard, you know. Fuck off.
Oh,
Fucking do
you
it
love
me,
catching
I
me out, do you? I love it when your phone's on silent, mate.
Fucking pain in the ass. Go on.
To be fair, there's only one. You need to keep your eyes on that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think where BudBox will go to China with the blueprint and say, I need it like this, we're checking it. It's
And
got
the
to
data
adhere to
on the
these
back, and
standards.
he's always
That's-
there, and he's probably got people who are there watching over them people.
I'd say that's a British
the
person
fact that
in
he's half
China,
dedicated to him. Yeah,
Chinese
so that's-
staff, and British. I'm going to give that
You're
a
going to
proper
say it's
British
more
product.
British. I wouldn't say it was more British. I'd say the quality of it is the best quality you're going to get. And we've seen it time and time again with them.
Oh, I'll put the British stamp of approval on it.
Yeah.
But
You could do that.
But then me and you could just go, we could take a BudBox tent to China and say,
I want
that.
and you'll get it.
I haven't got a blueprint. Just make me that. Make it cheaper. They'll make the stitching cheaper. Make it thinner denier material. Make the zips. I'm not bothered about the zips. Just I want a cheap tent.
But I want it to look like that.
Yeah, then I don't know. I wouldn't call that a British product because you've just got some fool in Britain gone to fucking China with and copied the product and just brought it over. It's a Chinese product because they've done what they want to do to it. But when you go with a blueprint, you say I want it like this. It has to adhere to this standard because they're my standards, and then you bring it back over to Britain to distribute. That's a British product. That makes sense. So the
I
same
know
with
what
lighting
you're saying, but I
companies.
think a lot of
So
people
to be
are-
fair, I'll go back to Gavita.
Any comments, I reckon a lot of people that disagree with you to say that if it's manufactured or made in China, it's not really a British product because it hasn't had the full support of Britain as it behind it.
No, there's no comments because everyone's just sun's out, feeling good, afternoon. They're all just having a chat amongst themselves. No one's even listening, just all socialising on our YouTube channel. Open the windows, let the sun in. So I'll give it to Gavita, old Gavita. They brought the products in from China, but they were assembled under Dutch blueprints. So that is a genuine Dutch product. Same for BudBox, genuine British product. There's lots of tents that are made by British people or are brought in by British people that are full, they're just Chinese products, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just shit.
So
what you're saying, if you go to China with the blueprint and you get it made to the proper British standards, good quality and your standards, it then becomes British.
Yeah.
No, I think you're wrong.
So everything's Chinese then?
It fucking is though, isn't it?
So how do you separate between good Chinese and bad Chinese products?
By having the people, if I go there and I buy and I want to make money and I just buy the shite and I don't go with the blueprints, but if you turn up there and you're on the back and then you've got your people there watching over them and you make sure you're in with a good firm who do good quality work, who listen to you and keep that good quality work going and going and going and going, still Chinese, mate.
So you could have a stick net designed and engineered by British brains, manufactured in China, brought back over.
Lad, everything you open today,
I know, because cheap is what's going to happen though. See where the wages are cheaper in China, and China's slowly moving
I hope
forward.
China does do that.
Oh, they will.
I hope it does.
Chinese people are going to start wanting a better wage.
To do it, it should do it.
Chinese people are going to want a better wage. They're going to want to start having benefits. like everything that the UK's got, and the reason that we have to pay minimum wage because it's fair, then China's going to get to a point where they want it. And when there's over 1 billion people that start wanting a minimum wage, they can't carry on producing cheap goods. So then it'll go to the next country or the next country. Very interesting when China gets to that economic point.
Or maybe it'll come home.
Yeah. It's coming home. It's coming.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can, Barry Builds can build all the manufacturing facilities.
After that big, long conversation,
yeah.
If you go to China tomorrow with blueprints and all that,
I've designed, engineered everything.
And you go to China
manufacturing,
and you get it made.
Yeah.
And it comes back here.
Yeah. I'd call that a British product.
Would you?
Yeah. I think there's very little now. That Jaguar Land Rover, where did they get their steel from?
China.
Mm. But Land Rovers, it probably will be because the cheapest steel comes from China, doesn't it? And in that amount, I imagine that they would ship it over for the amount that Jaguar Land Rover use.
Couldn't comment, mate. I don't know.
So, Orlando Mattis has said, should be labelled as assembled in the UK. If manufactured in the UK, it's more kudos. And then Anita said, all our food is English. It might not be, though. Might not be. 52% of what? There's a microphone there, you know, Josh.
No. Origins of food in the UK, 52% is produced in the UK. The rest comes from all over the world.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So 48% of our food comes from around the globe. Josh, why are you so...
But I don't think that's a bad thing, though. That's not a bad thing, though, is it? Just to get your food from everywhere else, because...
Coachy's got a proper copper.
Some of it's probably just like not grown here or nothing, isn't it?
We'll get into this in a minute, but he's got a microphone set up there.
I can't really hear you. There's a little bit of a delay.
Oh, okay.
So I'd rather just come in and talk to you. My voice is loud enough.
Yeah.
Okay then.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing that we get our food from other countries, though, because they've got different climates and can grow things quicker and whatnot.
Well, I've got a 2.5-year-old that demands strawberries most days. Yeah. He ain't getting British strawberries in November or December. So he's going to have Spanish strawberries, hasn't he?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Lumi, it's a Hydro Garden brand.
English? British?
Chinese.
No.
But brought over. I don't think there's anything. There's anything. Now, I've been... so I put an Instagram story out the other day.
You should just do this podcast on, like, Hydrotops and Buddha's Tree. I'm well in, boys.
We'll get on. We'll get to nutrients at the bottom, but here's one for you.
That fucking thing made by... Mate, that's fucking Chinese. Made in Mexico. Hey,
does it?
Is it Mexico? Hey, it's made in Mexico. It is. Swear to God. Made in Mexico.
Our microphones are made in Mexico, sure. One of the best podcast microphone you can buy. Made in Mexico.
Made in Mexico.
I don't give it
Mexico.
Mexico. Here's one for you though. Buddha's Tree. Barry, put the Evian down, mate. It's French.
Where's that from?
France.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's Evian. It was simple, that one. Where was this table made? Britain. Good old, what's his name?
So we've got fucking Buddha's Tree at the tops in our fucking table.
Well, Buddha's Tree, and I rang Buddha's Tree and said it was just having a little conversation.
You're going to upset me now, it's best all be British.
Well, some of their raw ingredients are German.
See, that's not bad though.
Why? Because Germany produces Audi, BMW, Mercedes, and there's no for Oshpring
they just we might not be able to get them products here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the same way about food.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's only so much Britain can produce.
Exactly, and there's only so much probably chemicals Britain can produce that they've got a source in.
I imagine most of the chemicals they use are British.
But then going to China and getting stuff made, there's probably only so much we can manufacture here before
you've got to go somewhere else.
Before you've got to go somewhere else. But
nutrients is a big one. It's easy to, well, I say easy. They're a lot easier to do nutrients in the UK than around the world. Someone's mentioning I did the Instagram. If you don't follow us, it's at NPK_hydroponics. You can get your questions in there for each podcast. Grow Northern Telos LED light. So I've never, to be honest, I haven't heard of them. But it'd be good if anyone's on them or used them. Let us know. I imagine, I'm going to assume that they're pull components from China as well, and maybe they assemble them in the UK. I don't know. Grow Northern sounds like very pie Grow Northern up in the cold country with us, but what is the sketch with them? Here's a good one for you, Barry. Fans and filters. So we've got our partner, Can Filters Europe. A lot of the companies get the carbon from probably one of several facilities that produce the best carbon, but Can Filters it's a German company, assembled in Germany. Probably a lot of the components are brought in Germany.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know all the ins and outs. They probably wouldn't tell you, would they? But I'm assuming now that we've done this podcast, people are going to start jumping up and going, actually, our motors are German. I just expect the Isomax and the QMax to be German motors, because German is good.
But if they had parts in them from all over the world, that is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not everything's made in Britain and produced in Britain, and
a lot of these nutrients are.
And it's like,
so
I'm probably half contradicting myself sometimes, but if they could get it in Britain, it'd probably be too expensive for us as the end user to buy it, because them fucking parts are Brewster's.
And then
so for them to bring a Bosch product, which it is a fucking unbelievable product, most of the products, all of the products that they do are good. So to bring them to market at a good price for us to buy them and the end consumer to buy them is, you've got to do what you've got to do sometimes, haven't you? You know what I mean? And the same with BudBox. I can understand why they go to China, because it'd just be, no one would have a BudBox. BudBox wouldn't be here if it probably wasn't manufactured in China. That's just me. I might be wrong, but
no, I think you're right. Otherwise, the price would just be
astronomical. And it'd be a shame, more of a shame, to see an amazing product go down the pan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not evolve.
Because they do start trying to manufacture in the UK. Here's one for you on fans and filters. So, Can Filters, Isomax, QMax, they're one of the partners of the show. Yeah. Global Air Supplies, a UK company, but I think all their fans and filters, I don't think any of it is made in the UK. I think mostly Europe. I'd say German motors for most of it, because it is a good quality brand, but it's a British company, so I don't think there's going to be much difference if Can filter prices go up. I think Global Air Supplies, filters and fans will also go up, because it's all from, well, the majority of it will be from Germany. Yeah. I think a lot of the best fans and filters are Germany, Dutch, Austrian. I think a lot of the good motors come from there, like car motors do as well. Systems. Now, systems is a good one, because we can be proud of our British systems. AutoPot, one of the show's partners, very proud of AutoPot. It's been smashing it recently, winning an award at Spanibus. Fully British product. I'm very happy with AutoPot.
Manufactured in Britain.
Manufactured in Britain. Assembled in Britain. Yeah. He probably does get maybe his flexi tanks. I think his flexi tanks might come from China, but just because they were designed in the UK. That's just one product. I think AutoPot's a great British system. Everybody should start using
to get plastics in that. Imagine, let's have a container full of AutoPots. How many are you getting in it? Let's say you got 1,000 in it. Imagine how much it costs to ship that plastics and stuff like that, big bulky.
So that's what we can be proud. So Britain can be proud of its systems. You've got AutoPot, partner of the show. Very happy.
Nutriculture do a lot of systems.
They do. Multiflow, that's Highlight's flood and drain system. IWS, Intelligent Watering System, that's Nutriculture's flood and drain. You've also got Medusa systems, British engineer, basically everything British. He does literally everything in-house.
Including the pumps.
Ooh, that's a good question. There's a good question. Where are the pumps made? Where's Halia from? I know a lot of people use Halia pumps. Nutriculture uses newer pumps. Yeah. That's an interesting question. Who else have we got? Greenman. Greenman Systems.
I think most of your plastic is...
Yeah.
Most of your systems will be British.
Yeah, so Britain wins for the systems. I'm happy with that now. It was going a bit downhill, this, wasn't it? We were thinking, it's all fucking doom and glory. But we're picking her up. Nutrients. Buddha's Tree. Manchester-based. Brilliant set of nutrients. Hydrotops. Not well marketed, because They don't choose to do any marketing.
I don't think they
fully,
need to.
Fully British product. Very happy with them. Plant Magic, fully British product as well. Very, very happy with them. Intense Nutrients. That's a new one.
That's a new one.
New one. A few shops have started stocking that. Another, again, fully British product. Moonshine. Fully British. Hydroponics. Somebody shouted out Hydroponics to me the other night. Manchester based, I think they are as well. Good British product. So we're doing well. Nutrients and systems, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we manufacture what we can and we make what we can and then we outsource to keep things cheap. So it's we're getting there. Here's another one. Air Comfort.
China.
Proper China product, but a brilliant product at the same time. But it was a British person that spotted it and brought it over.
But it was already made. So
it was already
British,
made.
Mate, don't put your name to it.
But, you have to excuse me because
If I come in here and I start coughing, I don't know what it is.
It's probably quite dry. That's why we've got the plant in here. Got the new plant. Let you water and name it.
It'll be dry.
Could be. I'm just not feeling great. That's why I'm a bit bunged up.
It's like a humidifier, don't you? It's a bit dry.
Do you know where to get one?
What a fucking a British one.
Yeah.
Fucked. Put a towel over the radiator. That's the best of British.
Is it? What, sweaty socks
Fucking
over the radiator?
A wet towel over it, lad.
Yeah, the socks were made in China, though, mate. So it's everything's coming from China, isn't it? Accessories, Air Comfort. Here's one. Charge. Eco Thrive. Biosis. British. I've heard that the microbes have got British accents as well. They don't bring in the microbes from China.
Scousers.
Yeah.
I've heard the Geordies.
All Geordies, Cockneys.
Aye, man, catch on to that route, like. Shit all over this, no.
I'm going to get you to do a voiceover in a Geordie accent for loads of little microbes. Do you reckon we can do that, Josh?
He's not listening.
We're a little bit delayed, aren't we? They're into something.
Look at them.
Look at the two of them. Peanut. You're not paying any attention.
No.
Here's one for you. New product to the UK. I don't know where it's manufactured, but designed, engineered by British person. Odor. I saw it for the first time at AutoPot, the AutoPot Festival in this August just gone.
That's made in China, though.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's just temp material, lad, with the zip on it.
Temp material, but I think it's like a thick neoprene.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's going to be manufactured in China as well, but engineered, designed in Britain. And I want to class that as a British product.
Things, lad, if you look at them, you're saying, yeah, I'm going to class that. Everything's probably fucking British if you look at it like that then, lad. Because everything we've wanted, people who have designed things. Do you honestly believe now, I don't mean this in a bad way, but who do you think designed that microphone?
Say it the right way because it gets to you when it's not the right way. That's better.
Who do you think designed it?
I think some
Mexican,
some head honcho at Shaw who's like got major PhDs in sound and microphone and all that sort of stuff, designed it, engineered it, sent off the drawings to Mexico and said, there's the components, put that together to me, send it back to me. Because they can get 10 made for the price that they could have won. Wherever Shaw is, I don't even know where Shaw's from. Sounds like an American microphone. I just want to be, I don't know, I'd love to see more stuff manufactured in Britain.
But you won't. Get that out of your head.
Sure, we could. If China economics pick up to Western society and they have welfare, they have fair wages, and they stop paying pittance. That's another thing. You're going to have to really excuse me because my nose is really getting blocked up. But I know that BudBox ensures proper fair wages for their workers in China. Fair wages. It's still cheaper because it's mass produced and everything, and the warehouses are massive and it's mass produced. So it's still cheaper to manufacture. But I know that he ensures fair wages. But some warehouses may be paying £2 an hour, maybe £1 an hour. And that's how the cheap stuff can become so cheap. So there's a bit of a debate, argument, discussion to be had here. British people who ensure that people are getting paid properly and getting good quality products, or British people, Europeans, because we're Britain, European, we're going to call them more Europeans now, They might just be going to China, paying a minimum wage, getting shit products and bringing it over. That's how I want to differentiate British products. Good ethics, good quality products, paying a fair wage, and giving good quality shit to the end consumer. I'd love to see something like that. I'd love to see sort of a stamp of British, fair wages, all the stuff I've just said.
Good luck.
Do you think I'm dreaming?
Probably.
We'll see. We'll see. So, something that's led me on to is innovate versus imitate. Part 3. We're going to scare the shit out of some people.
What is it?
Innovate versus imitate. So we've done this best of British discussion, and what we see from this is BudBox premium tent made in China but with good standards. People imitate that tent produced in China, and it's shit of quality.
Well, that's what we
cheaper.
said though. They're the greedy ones, aren't they? They're the people who are just running out there getting the tent made on the cheaper scale and then trying to sell it.
So we need to hold people accountable. Our mate Andy Varley, we've had some run-ins with him in the past because of his plug and grow controller. He's a Yorkshire man, and he's been doing a recent series on Facebook about his plug and go controller, this timer I should say, and how other people, and you know what, he's been doing it really fairly. He's been basically put reports out there, opening up other people's controllers, some of them blatant copies of his designer's instructions.
Some of them are exactly the same as his. I've seen them.
They look exactly the same, but have you ever opened one up? But to be fair to him, he is, when he opens one up and it's got a good rating and it's this and that, he'll say, listen, this is a decent one to be fair, but they've still copied all the instructions. They could have at least come up with better, like the same.
Is that why he's doing it though? Because people are copying him?
And also he's doing it because he's fed up with copies. He's opened them up. He's found some that are decent. He's like, yeah, these are okay. These will do the job. He's also found some that could potentially go on fire in the worst case scenario. So he's doing a good thing. He's putting it all out on Facebook. And when I've asked him, when he's finished those reports, to send me everything that he's put together, and we will do Innovate versus Imitate Part 3, along with a lot of other products. It's been a while since we've done one of those podcasts, and it stirs up a little bit of shit.
Is he worrying more, though, that people are copying his product, or that there's shit products out there?
Probably worrying more. Probably pissed off that people are copying his product.
I just never lose any sleep over anything like that, maybe, because people will do it. If you have a great idea in the morning, Steve, and you get it made, the next morning, no one's got that great idea, and there's 10 other people in the queue to get your product made. And that's just what it is, mate. It's
a debate that we've been having in the shop recently, isn't it?
Yeah.
So my stand, and I'm sticking by 100%, and people disagree or agree, they'll have their own opinions. I think when an original product comes out, shops, wholesalers should support it 100%. And it becomes a little bit different if you're a wholesaler, because if Highlight gets the original product, then someone comes along with a copy of it and gives it to you as a secondary wholesaler, it becomes about business then, doesn't it? But
we're not going to name products.
If you make an original product,
there's hundreds of them out there, isn't
shops and the growers should support what they know to be the original product, because
unless a copy comes out that's better.
If a copy comes out that's better, yeah, we've said this on Innovate or Imitate on every podcast. If it is better, then basically you've had somebody who's come along and gone, good idea, I'm going to make it better. Brilliant. You can copy it all day and make it better. Or if it's an expensive product and you copy it and make it more affordable, it still needs to be a good quality product. I don't believe in making shit. But if you can copy that product and make it more affordable, and you say, listen, it's not as good as that product because I've had to do this, this, and this, but it's now more affordable. So people who can't afford £500 for product X, I've made it. You can buy it for £300. It's not as good as for this reason, but it's £200 cheaper. I think that's acceptable as well. Yeah. But if you copy a product, try and sell it for the same price, and it's lower quality, then support the original, because what will happen is people who are innovators, the inventors of the industry, it's going to get to a point where they turn around and just go, this has happened too many times now. I've sweated blood and tears to get this to market. I invented it. Maybe the patent, I couldn't afford the patent, or the patent didn't come through and someone's copied me. You're going to get to a point where no one's innovating anymore.
That's going to happen, though. Look, there's one thing now that will always happen. If you make an amazing product tomorrow and bring it to market on Friday morning, Saturday morning, that same product will be out half price. Might not be as good quality, and the plastic might not be as good, and it might not last as long, but it will be out.
If it's half price, then there's an argument to be had. It's now more affordable for people who haven't got the money to buy your high-end product.
Yeah. And if
There's an
it's
argument
only going to last them after life. And
I think a good piece of marketing would be for those people to go, listen, there's your humidifier, the good one that's just been invented. It's £200. I've seen it, thought I can make that, but if I change this, and this, I can half the price and get it out there for £100. If you said in your literature, listen, this is this product, but it's cheaper and it's not quite as good because this, and this, then I think that's a good marketing technique. You'd still sell the systems.
Still, what you've just said, though, just contradicted yourself.
No, because
the inventor's still going to get sick of it and go, yeah, you've made my product. I'm selling it for £200. Mine's all quality gear that will last, and you'll only have to buy one of them every 5 years.
Well, what that inventor should then
but
do...
it's now acceptable to make one and a few cheaper parts in, it's going to last you half the time. But
then it's up to the consumer, then, isn't it? If he wants to buy cheap shit, there's cheap pH pens. How often do we sell a cheap pH pen in the shop now?
Don't sell them no more.
Because
stop selling them, lad.
Because
they come back, bro.
And people are understanding now.
Don't come to our shop, lad, if you want a £25 pH pen, because I don't even think we have them no more.
Yeah, it's rare that we get them in stock. If you're adamant, I'll get you a universal solution for a £5. But people, it's now, we're not having to say that anymore, are we?
No.
Because people are now understanding, I did buy 3 of them pens, so I've spent £60 in the year.
And that fucking thing probably hasn't even pH'd your water properly anyway.
Someone came in the shop the other day, he said, I've had that for 3 years, that Blue Lab pH pen. Yeah. They're guaranteed for a year, but they last a lot longer. My whole thing is, try your best to support the innovators, try your best to support the inventors that are coming up with new stuff, because if you don't, they'll get fed up and they'll just stop inventing shit, and the industry will stop moving forward, and all you'll have is cheap copies. So that's my stand, and that is NPK's stand as well. We try our very, very best to support innovative, original, inventive products. If you don't, it's all going to go away. And then you'd always miss something when it's no longer there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I remember there's been times when nothing new's come out for a long time. People are going, not new coming out, is that fucking shit, this? Not news coming out, I want to try something different. Well, maybe that's because you pissed off all the inventors and they just can't be asked inventing stuff anymore. So there's another debate, another topic of discussion to be had. Think about it. Think about it when you're making your purchases. Think about AutoPots, CANNA nutrients, can filters, SANlight LEDs,
I got that in there,
and Revolution microelectronics. Think about these good products. They also happen to be partners of the show, so I'm just giving them a little bit of a shout out there. I've got to do some shout outs of my own now, because I did say...
Why you do your shout outs and go on the toilet?
Why you bursting? Be quick. Be quick, B.
Don't miss me.
Get me a tissue, please.
I'm going to innovate something.
That's disgusting. So... come in and tell me, Coates. Get involved. Come here. Get on camera. Come on, Mr. Alessi Top. Isn't it mad how Alessi's come back into fashion? Come on. Coates is not fashionable, though. He's just wearing his Alessi Top from 10 years ago. That's now come back into fashion. Come and show everyone. Come and get on camera. Come and sit in Barry's seat while I talk. This is Coates, everybody, for watching live. He makes all the audio sound amazing. How are we? Oh, look, he's going to get right involved. Right. Should we get Barry doing the audio?
Yeah.
How are you, Coatsy?
Mic check. Ooh. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Tell everybody about your album you've just released on Spotify. Come on.
It's an EP.
It's an EP. It's an EP.
Experimental project.
Experimental project. Is that what an EP stands for? Or have you just made that up?
I don't know. It might stand for it.
Experimental project. Josh, come on. Put this fucking screen here. I could give him a bottle. I want Best British back up. So, I did a shout out on Instagram. Would you shut that door for us, Josh? And it was on my stories, and I wanted to know people's best British products. So here you go. RK Hydro. That's a hydro shop in the UK. Buddha's Tree Flower Base do very particular about their favourite product. It also happens to be my favourite product. And EcoThrive. UK Growlog said moonshine, and he'll be using Buddha's Tree next time. So shout out to UK Growlog. Crackernog said Hydrotops. Very good British brand. Benny 420 UK, Holland 944, Dr. Dark Garden, and Steele, Mr. Steele said Buddha's Tree. Doobie UK 420 said Intense Nutrients. Yeah, Barry, you need to start doing the audio.
Is he imitating me?
He's imitating you. He's not innovating anything.
Yeah, you can tell it's a cheaper one though. It's not as good quality, that is it? Look at it.
We swap roles now.
It's not as good quality.
Sea Bears Chilies said Hydroponics.
Let him say that.
Dave AutoPot said, guess what Dave AutoPot said was the best British product? Definitely. AutoPot, mate. Dave AutoPot. Yeah, he said AutoPot was the best British product.
Oh, did he use the cheap version?
Yeah, he's a cheap version. See what happens when you put the cheap version in?
That's
and
it, that's-
now we're going to have the cheap version doing the audio. And watch the audio go to shit
That's
in a
what
minute.
me saying I've got the best album ever.
Coastline Cultivator said Grow Northern Telos LED, and Bowmouth Farm said Moonshine and Biosis. So, thank you very much for getting involved and shouting out what your favourite products were. Come on, Barry, come on, sign off. Coatsy, leg it, you a shit, mate. All he's done is promote his Spotify album. Yeah, hasn't got involved in any way.
This is how you meant speaking to the mic now, Bauer. Take note.
He's giving you lessons on how to speak into the microphone now.
You know why we get so much noise?
Yeah.
You've got a massive gap between you and the mic, so it's catching all the air.
I know, I sound great because but next week we'll have proper clamps and Barry is going to be right over his microphone. Got to be right in for
Can't help it.
the last
I just
part. He relaxes too much.
You know what I mean?
You won't have an excuse next week when we do.
Like, fucking just relax, mate.
So that's it. Best of British BudBox grow tents, LEDs Cropmaster, and for LEDs, and Maxi for the 315 ceramic matte highlights. I'd love to see someone in Britain produce a double-ended HPS.
What are
or
we
a
giving away?
light. Oh, I'm getting to that now.
Get it.
Fans and filters, Global Air Supplies. I'm going to give them best of British air movements. Systems.
Who makes the most?
Who makes the most systems? It's got to be AutoPot, hasn't it? And
They probably sell the most as well, don't they? So it's got to be AutoPot.
AutoPot. People are going to say, though, they're only saying that because they're a partner.
Where's the V3, mate? The V3 is a good system.
V3's highlights. flood and drain system.
It's got to be English.
But it's, it's
like most
electrical. So electrical system, multi-flow. Non-electrical gravity-fed system, AutoPot. And AutoPot won Spanimus as well, so AutoPot takes it for me. Media, cocoa. Got to be EcoThrive's cocoa with perlite. Absolutely smashing it in our shop. Nutrients. It's a hard one. It's a tough category, nutrients. For me,
I'd say there's two. It's got to be
Buddha's Tree and
Hydrotops.
yeah, they're the ones that are killing it.
Yeah.
Moonshine, you make good additives.
Yeah.
But for a full range, Buddha's Tree and Hydrotops.
And you can use moonshine with either of those.
Yeah, you can
There you
do.
go, Dan.
Yeah, you can do.
Happy days. lad.
Accessories, air comfort. Can't give that a British product, can we? No.
Boss product.
Accessories. I've put accessories. It's not a nutrient. It's a biological. Charge and Biosis. Going to give that to them. And best newcomer British product, Odor.
Odor.
Yeah. I'm going to give that.
Odor.
Why?
How?
Because it's a British product. It was designed and manufactured and engineered. It's made in China, brought over here. I'm going to give that to them. Come up with a new British product. It's tough. It's hard, as we've just discovered on this podcast. Not a lot is made in fucking Britain. Take the flag down, Josh. I'm going to give it to Odor. I think they're new startup company. I think they deserve a little shout out. So check them out if you're on Instagram. You can't think of anything better, can you? Innovate versus Imitate Part 3 coming soon. You know what? I need to take a picture of that. Do that into the camera. He's gone gauzy. Looks like Steptoe. Innovate versus Imitate Part 3 coming very soon. If you are a wholesaler, manufacturer, producer of products and you feel like you've been imitated, let us know. If you have innovated a
And
product.
if we've missed any British product.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm scared about. What have I missed? So last week, Barry decided to do a giveaway. Barry, how much legwork did you do for this giveaway?
None.
Yeah, left it all up to me, didn't you?
Left it to stay.
So, there's a giveaway. Oh, Kellyanne Richardson said, thanks for the shout out from all at RK Hydro in Scotland. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for getting involved on the gram. So the giveaway is full setup, BudBox 1.2 meter square tent Pro. So that means it's white. AutoPot 4-pot system. I have got a Maxi 315 stroke well halide. And he didn't get back to me, but he's going to do it anyway. He's going to give me a fan and filter, some ducting, and maybe a controller from Global Air Supplies. So that's your tent, your light, your fan and filter with controller, your system, and your feed. You can, if you win, you can choose from Budder's Tree or Hydrotops.
Yeah.
And we will throw in some charge and some biosis as well, because like that is a fully
Full
British product.
grow.
Full British product, full British grow. Should all be very happy. How did they enter, Barry?
What is it?
You did
Share,
very
what
little
is it?
leg work, didn't
What
you?
is it? I always forget it.
So,
Share, like and subscribe.
we are going to do a picture of this.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I've got to do that. You know, he gets it every time.
We're going to do a picture. We're going to take a picture of me and Barry in front of our new podcast studio. If you share it on Instagram and tag hashtag NPK Hydroponics Live, you are entered. And next week we will pick out the winner. So there you go. That's how you enter. Oh, what's Josh putting on now? What are you putting on? I think there's a little bit of ask for the people that are listening, isn't it? Because they don't get to see this gorgeous room that we're in.
Just
Well
go
done,
on
everyone watching
YouTube and
live.
watch
Go
it.
on, watch it on YouTube. So that's it, isn't it?
Best of British.
Best
the
of
best
British.
British Hydroponics podcast.
This one, isn't it?
No, it's the only one.
It's the only one.
Yeah, so
We
we're
come
the best.
first and last
We're
again.
first and last again. We're doing shit. But we're up there, but doing shit.
You know what I'm going to do to really annoy you? I've just noticed, look how messy your wires look behind that new desk.
Oh, fucking batter them.
We're going to have to sort that out.
Look at that. Coming here.
Look how messy all them wires look.
Oh, mate.
So, for everyone listening on the
That's it.
podcast, Coatsy, get ready.
Look at all the wires there, man.
Everyone on YouTube,
Know
you
what
carry
we
on
need
watching.
to do? Just, I'll black.
Yeah, just
I'll
that lower
tint
half.
the lower half of the windows.
Barry builds at it again.
Yeah. No.
If follow us at NPK_hydroponics, because that's what you've got to do to be in the competition. Don't be lazy sitting there listening to us in your car or your room
It's a
or
good
wherever you
giveaway.
are.
Say that giveaway again, no.
1.2 meter square BudBox Pro tent, ceramic metal halide 315 Maxi light, AutoPot 4-pot system, Global Air Supplies fan, filter, ducted, and hopefully a controller if he's feeling generous.
And a choice of either.
Choice of either
Budder's
Hydrotops or Budder's Tree nutrients
Full range.
with some Eco Thrive and
Biosis.
with some biosis, and yeah, there's no media, is there? So we're going to go with an Eco Thrive 70-30 perlite as well, so you're going to get that as your media. So good giveaway. Get involved. Tell everyone about the podcast. So that's it. Everyone listening, get involved.
Yeah,
Follow us on Instagram. Look at that gorgeous screen. That's it, coach. Finish the podcast. We'll see you all next week. The NPK podcast partners of CANNA, Can Filters, AutoPot, SANlight, and Revolution Micro. Thank you very much. We'll see you all next week. Podcast 172.
Yeah, man.
Barry, you stay there. We've got a
Do
bit of
this
work to do.
every time.
I know. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Right, Coatsy, podcast, done. Finish the audio.